Hello, hello. We are back to another week of Things You Should Know. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can master not caring so much about what other people think of you. So, when you imagine or think about a super confident person, do you see someone that cares a lot about what other people think of them? Probably not. Many of us struggle caring just way too much about what other people say about us, what other people think of us, how we look, how we act, who we are, how we dress, how we talk. I mean, the list just go on and on and on. And we could spend so much time worrying about impressing other people and making other people think a certain way about us. And that is honestly exhausting. We could all agree on that. And the truth is, most people that you care so much about in how they perceive you actually don't even think about you that much. For example, when you say the wrong thing in the meeting, or you stumble your words, or maybe you tripped while you're walking on the streets, or maybe you spill your coffee on your shirt. You may think of all these people around you are thinking negative things about you, or that you just made a huge fool out of yourself, but the truth is, you're barely even a few seconds on these people's thoughts, and that it's okay. We all go about our day to day. We actually don't spend that much time thinking about other people's flaws or when somebody mess up. But somehow, when that happens to us, when we're the one that are making these flaws or is messing up, we are just worrying, throughout the day on how to make it better, or that people's gonna think differently of us. Have you heard of that saying that when we have a bad day, is it that we really had a bad entire day? Or is it that we're just making the 5 minutes in our day that is so bad and we're just milking the whole day based on that 5 minutes? And that is so true in these examples. So when you think about it, the fact is that when we're beating ourselves up, or it's over prepping for something, or being way over conscious at what other people's thinking of us, what they're saying about us, we're actually wasting a lot of time that we could be using to truly improve ourselves for things that matters most. So here's a tip for how you can master not caring so much what other people think of you. First, be very selective in who you want to spend time caring about, even they're thinking about you. Now, when I say be very selective, I do mean very. This should be your top no more than 5 people or things in your life. Like, have you ever thought about, or have you ever heard about this saying? For those that matter don't mind, and the ones that mind don't matter. I know I might not be saying it exactly right, and it's something probably along the lines of just the who that matters don't mind, and the ones that mind don't matter. You know what I mean. Well, that saying is very, very true. Because if you feel like you need to consistently impress people and you can't be who you are, those people really shouldn't matter that much in your life. And it is the people who make you feel good about who you are, and at the same time makes you feel like you want to be a better version of yourself and accepts you, and those are the ones who really matters. Now, this means that for people that really matters, you're good with just who you are. And if anything, these people just inspire you and make you want to be a better version of yourself. So what this means is when you are prepping and you're trying hard and you're doing things to make things better, you're not doing it for these people. You're doing it for yourself. These people want you to be a better version of yourself, just as you want to be a better version of yourself for yourself. Now, what this means is that you could focus more on you, on what are some of the things that are most important to you, and that how you plan to get there. Now, that is a very, very valuable way of spending your time instead of thinking about what did Susan say about me? What did John think about my presentation today? Or what is so-and-so thinking my dress at this one party, or my shirt? None of that matters. And the fact being is that these people are hardly even thinking about you. And if they are, they literally are just spending a very small amount of their day, perhaps gossiping for a 2-minute way that is not productive. So the better way and more productive way to spend your time is first figuring out the very small amount of people or things in your life that truly, truly matters to you, and then making sure that you are setting a standard for yourself. So you're not doing it to impress other people, to prove to anybody you're this way. If anything, you're doing this for yourself because you believe in you and that you want to prove to yourself that you could do this and that you could get there. Therefore, you spend the time and effort in defining that for yourself. And that is a better way to spend your time being better and improving your knowledge or whatever skill set or whatever. And it doesn't even have to be work related. It could be maybe you just want to be better at doing certain fashion, or the way you exercise, play basketball, like whatever it is that you feel like you want to get better at. Just try to revert the thinking. Rather than you're doing it to impress other people, you are doing it to essentially impress yourself. Like, how do you make it better so you are proud of yourself when you're doing all of these things? And I think when you're able to narrow down the very small part of the people or things that you care about, that's when you're able to give a lot more energy. And that is so important, because when you care so much about what majority people are thinking of you, saying about you, or just so many things, you then can't split your time enough where you then spend enough time and energy on one thing that actually makes a difference, right? So for example, if you have 50 people in your life right now that you're like, yeah, I care about what they all think of me. I feel like they think this way of me and I don't want them to think this way. So I feel like every day I just do certain things to kind of change their minds. And all these different 50 people or 50 different things, perhaps they're all, like you're trying to change a little bit of this and that about yourself. Therefore, you're just splitting your time way too thin. And again, like, these people are likely not even thinking about you in that way, nor if they care to be honest, because most people in their day-to-day, they just care about themselves. They care about how to improve their own lives. So it's very hardly ever that they think about, oh yeah, that one mistake that you made in that one meeting, or that, hey, that one time there was a stain on your shirt, or, oh, this person looked this way for that one day. Like, people don't really care. They just care about themselves, and they're thinking about their life and how to improve it. And so remember that when you're, over analyzing on this one small thing that you did, and in fact, it is just very small and it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. If anything, if you just kind of own it, like, yeah, like, it happens. It really does. It just all happens. We all could relate. If you could own it, I guarantee you will get way more respect from people. People could relate to you a lot more, and the way that you brush it off is exactly how everyone will act and will perceive it and take it as, because it happens, and that is the best thing to do, is just brush it off. It's fine. Try it again next time, right? So that's also another part. It's realizing that all these other people that you care so much about, that are judging you in your every word, your every sentences, your every move, they really are not thinking about it. They're not thinking about you. It's kind of one of those where, like, we all think of our lives almost like we're the star of our own movie, right? Like sometimes, I don't know if you ever think about it, you wake up, you think about things, you go about your day, but when you're thinking about in your head, it's almost like you are the star of your own movie, and you have every right to think that way. But you need to understand that everyone else is also the star of their own movie. So what this means is that everyone is kind of thinking about themselves or people that really matters to them way more than just about anyone that they meet, right? So just what this means, just remind yourself about not to fuss over every mistake, every thing that you did that you feel like, oh my God, like, how could I do that? I was so, stupid for doing this. Like, don't beat yourself up. Don't think that other people is thinking this way or that way about you, because the matter of fact is that in one way, it's, to other people sometimes you're not that important. And that's okay, because the thing is, other people to you sometimes it's also that way, right? They're not that important to you either. And it's just a way of life. It's not because you're less than and some other people is more than. It's not that at all. We all are inspired to be a certain way and be with certain people, and we all have a different list. You have a different list than I do, and someone else will have a different list than we do, and that's fine. So we all care for different things. So what this means is that what you care for, it's completely different what other people care for. So at the end of the day, the best advice that I could give you is do you. Spend your time on things that matters to you most. Stop caring about what this person's thinking of me. What are they saying about me? Do they think I'm incompetent? Do they think this negative things? Like, no, just ask yourself, what are some things that do you care so much to improve on? Don't do something just because you're like, well, I think they want me to be better this way, so perhaps I need to do it. Like, ask yourself, what do you want to get better at? What are the things that you want to spend time in improving or doing more of or less of? Right? Start there. And this is one thing that I've always repeated throughout my podcast is life is short. And I know that when you're living in it, it doesn't feel like it. You don't even see the end, even though every day you acknowledge and know that the end, it's guaranteed. That one day it's gonna happen. It happens to all of us. It's the thing that we all have in common. It's a destination that we all share. But we always forget, and we live like we have infinite forever, and that's not true. So what this means at the end of the day is that you do have this one life that you know of right now that you're living, and you want to live it for you. And I'm not saying to be selfish and harm other people and not care about other people, because at the end of the day, I still believe that you should be considerate of people, be polite to people, but you do have a right to live the way you want as long as you're not harming anybody, right? So you have that right. Whatever it is, the career goal that you want to drive to, the things that you want to accomplish, as long as you're able to take care of yourself and you're happy, I mean, that's really what matters at the end of the day. The thinking of other people or not spending time to think about you and what you're thinking, that also goes back to the last day of their life. Like, if somebody's on their deathbed, they're not thinking about the time you stumble on your words or you embarrass yourself at that one party or you said the wrong thing or you did this very embarrassing thing. They're definitely not thinking about that. They're thinking about their lives. Did they achieve what they want? Do they have any regrets? Same with you. Imagine the day that you are on your deathbed. You're not then thinking about, oh my God, does, Karen still think this about me, or does Susan thinks this way, or John or Bob? You're not thinking about any of these people that may be a section of your life you try so hard to impress. You are thinking about your life. Did you achieve the things that you have always wanted to achieve? Did you ever explore or do things the way that you always wanted to do or have done? Those are the things that you think about. And knowing that, you are at a point of your life that you could achieve those things or at least be on the path to get there. So spend your time wisely. Spend your time on things that really truly matters to you personally. And of course, again, always be considerate and polite to other people, but think deep in what really matters to you. Be very, very selective in the people and things that you really, really care about, so then you could spend more of your energy on these things and people. Because again, if you care about 100 things or 500 things or 1,000 things, each of those things probably only gonna deserve like 2 seconds or 3 seconds of your time, or minutes or days, or whatever that is, and you can't be a master of each of those areas. But if you narrow down to top 5 things or 10 things that you really want to accomplish, or people that really matters to you most, and whatever kind of relationship you want to build with them, then those are what it's going to be so fulfilled. You're going to accomplish them because you're narrowing down to almost that one thing that really matters to you, so you can spend so much of your energy on in making sure that that ends up being what you have always dreamed of, what you want your life to be. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for listening. Again, if you love to hear more about podcasts or give me suggestions on the different topics that you want me to talk about, please do follow me on my Instagram at Real Things You Should Know. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.